In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys a strategy that I've been using to consistently make monthly gains on a very consistent basis. If you are lost and you just haven't been seeing the results that you want, don't worry, this video is going to put you back on the correct path in no time. Now, I've been trading for 8.5 years, and when I first started, I was chasing strategies that either don't work or are just impossible to do on a consistent basis. That's what made me want to put together this video with a strategy that's clear and so simple to understand that absolutely anyone who puts in the effort can easily do this. But in order for me to make this video as simple as possible, I'm going to have to break this video up into 3 different parts. Number 1, probability. This is basically just the calculations of what are the odds that your trade is going to go up your way. Number 2 being where to buy. And number 3 being risk management. Might be the most important one out of them all. Let's say your job is to predict whether this coin is going to be heads or tails. You would say it's a 50-50 chance, right? So imagine you start flipping the coin and it starts landing on heads every single time. That would be impossible. If you keep landing on heads every single time, you're going to start expecting tails, and sooner or later it will happen. So imagine you have to flip the coin 3 times. And the first 2 times were heads. What would your prediction be on the third flip? You would most likely say tails, right? This is because flipping heads 3 times in a row is far less likely than flipping 2 heads and 1 tails. So let's do the math. So your first flip would be a 50-50 chance. So you flip it and you land on heads. What would be the odds of the second flip? Since you already flipped heads once, the odds of you flipping heads again is less of a chance. It would be 25 to 75. So you flip again and you get heads again. 2 in a row now. Your odds for the next flip would be 12.5 to 87.5. You can see how quickly the odds stack up in your favor to bet tails on the next flip. We go ahead and flip the third time and we finally get tails. Now the probability resets and your chances of flipping heads starts increasing. 75 to 25 are the odds for the next heads flip. Now you might be wondering, what does this have to do with the stock market? Well, this logic can be applied to predict the direction of the stock that you are trading. To apply this to the markets, I'm going to be using the Robinhood app so that it's easier to understand for everyone. So you find a stock you want to trade, and you just watch it for the first day. From the time the market opens to the time the market closes at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, how did the stock perform? Let's say it went down on the first day. What are the odds it's going to be green tomorrow? Well, there's a 75% chance it's going to be green and a 25% chance it's going to be red again. Let's say it's red the second day. The chances of it being green the third day is 87.5% and the chances of it being red again is 12.5. You can see how it's a whole lot easier to predict the direction of the trade if you keep track of these days. And this will easily put the odds in your favor. But now that you got the odds on your side, let's move on to step number 2, where to buy. So we first start by drawing out the yesterday's highest and lowest points. I have my lowest point right here and I have my highest point right here. A good buy point would be depending on what the stock did the previous day. As you can see, today we went lower than the previous day and we did not go higher. So I expect this to break support again tomorrow. So a good price point would be anywhere below this line. Variant number 2 is if we didn't break support from the previous day. As you can see here, we actually came close, but we did not go any lower. But we also didn't break the high from the previous day. So in this situation, you want to buy closer to this line, not below it, but as close as possible to this line. And in the third scenario, if we held support, we did not go lower, but we actually broke through the high, as you can see here, then a good buy point would be if we pull back right below the resistance, we pull back a little below it, then that would be a good price point to buy in. Now in some more rarer cases, we do end up breaking the high and we also break the low on the same day. In these cases, I choose to stay away from the markets because we indicate choppy behavior, so we can keep doing this over and over again. So I personally choose to stay away so that I don't keep getting stop lossed out. Remember, you want the highest possible chances of succeeding. It's a whole lot better to miss out on a trade than to take a trade and take a loss. Sometimes it's a whole lot better to just wait for favorable conditions, and waiting will actually test your discipline, which is something you really need to be a good day trader. But now that you have the odds in your favor and a really good entry point, let's move on to step number 3, risk management. Risk management is one of the most important steps to day trading. First of all, you don't ever want to go into a day trade with your whole account size. A ratio that I like to use is 1/10 or 10% of my account. But this is because my stop losses are tighter and I'm willing to take a risk with 1/10. It might be a good idea to start with 1/20 or 5% of your account. This is because while you're still learning, you don't want to make unnecessary mistakes. Once you nail down the strategy, you can always ramp this number up way later. But once I enter a trade, I like to put a stop loss at 1.5% and a profit take at 3%. But since it's impossible to predict the high to the penny every single time, chances are about the same for me to take a 3% profit and a 1.5% loss. But since we are buying at strategical zones, those chances increase significantly. If you take 2 trades and stop loss out twice, that would be a total loss of 3%. So one successful trade of 3% will put you right back at even. But here's where things get a whole lot more interesting. Since you're only using a portion of your account, on the next trade, which would be your 3rd trade, if you open a slightly bigger position, you would already be in the profit. Keep doing this repeatedly and you will see the gains start to stack. Just don't go flip-flopping between shorting and buying, because then you reset your odds. Only buy and short when it's in your favor. But also, I got a bonus for you guys. I consistently live stream how I trade, and I apply this exact same strategy in my live streams. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. But also, if you guys are just starting out, check out this video where I show you guys how to make $10,000. And I'll see you guys on the next one.